Okay, so here we go. Solve on the unit circle from 0 to 360. Kelsey, can you open your notes, please? Thank you. This is the questions we did lots of yesterday. We'll use this after this, and we'll go on to what some of the homework takeouts to realize how difficult for people. So it says, solve on the unit circle 0 to 360. First of all, who am I going to pick on? Matt, who's sitting in the front row. Matt, when you say, sorry? Okay, well, just try and look back to your notes. So I want you guys to try. This is difficult. I'm just embarrassing Matt here. This is difficult for everyone. This is a difficult concept. What's happening is this. I want you guys to try here, please. Back from yesterday, do you remember cos is equal to x, y, or slope? Yeah, so cos is going to be x. So I'm just going to draw this as x equals negative 0.3. So again, for those who showed up late yesterday, and there are a few of you guys who missed this whole first half of the lesson was based on this. Okay, so I'm going to draw, there's my beautiful graph.
Would your son do that? You wouldn't verbalize that?
Okay, so I'm going to draw on here again, it's a unit circle, which means that every distance around it is going to be 1. Okay. And there's my beautiful circle. Oh, look at how beautiful that circle is. On that program that would do that for me automatically. That's okay.
I swear.
Okay, so that's looking not bad though, that circle, okay? So we have to find when the circle is going to have a value of negative 0.3. Okay, so Callan, I'm going to pick on you. How would you draw x equals negative 0.3 on this? Okay, I don't know. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little dot right here, which is negative 0.3. And I'm just going to move up like this. And there's going to be 1 point right there. I'm going to do down like this. Do we have to draw this today? Yes, you do. Okay, so those are going to be the 2 points. Now, one thing I should maybe take, because they asked in the homework, and I didn't realize it, because I made my lessons before the weekend here. Let's talk about quadrants for a sec. You haven't talked about quadrants probably since grade 8. Yeah. You probably haven't taken talk about quadrants since grade 8. Does anyone think where the first quadrant would be here? Where's the first quadrant on the grid here? I don't know.
Middle.
Top right. Top right. So this one is actually going to be quadrant 1. Okay, now again, if you can't remember which one's quadrant 1, think of how the angles go. Remember we said 0 degrees starts right here, and we're going to go around in a circle like this. Okay, so that's going to be quadrant 1. With that hint, Kilty, you want to take a guess where quadrant 2 is going to be?
I don't know.
No, incorrect.
Top left.
Top left, okay? Because if you're thinking how the angles are going right, there's 0, there's 90, so you're going to here second. Okay. With that knowledge, Nick, where's quadrant 3 going to be? Bottom left, okay, right? Going around like that. And this is hopefully going to help with 13, and I'm sorry I didn't remind you guys of this yesterday. Okay, right, but that's how the quadrants work like that. Okay, in every circle they always start with that, because you're always starting zeros at the positive x-axis. Since you weren't here yesterday, Liam, you should probably get this down. You weren't here yesterday. Yeah. All right, what's that? Good, but get the notes, the new notes, okay? Okay, Connor, how did I get my first theta? Where's the angle going to be from where to where?
Going to be from 0 to -3.
Yeah, good. Okay, but how did I get an angle out of this point?
Just take a 10 x.
Yeah. Hopefully we're going to put it right like this. Okay, to the origin. And right like this is going to be my theta. Nicole, pretend we are back in grade 10 for a second. If you wanted to solve for theta, and I had cos theta equals 0.3, negative 0.3, I mean, how would you in fact solve for theta back in grade 10?
Theta equals cos negative.
Very good. Can you do that? Yeah, good. Can you do that for me, please? When I say you, I mean everyone. Wait, hold on a second now. Oh my goodness, it's a long day. Let's go short. Yes,
You don't have
that
a
question?
question?
No, 107.45.
107.45. Okay, now looking at my question here, this is where it's sort of important to at least be able to visualize. Can somebody confirm that, 107.45?
Yeah.
Okay, now because within last night's questions on the homework,
they were getting negative angles, they were getting all sorts of weird angles you'd be getting here, okay? Looking at that question, is that realistic for a 107.45? Somebody tell me one good reason, Liam, I'm starting with you, even though you weren't here yesterday. Why is that, Sage, you want to take it? Sage, why does that make sense for 107? Okay?
No, I was gonna say because of like the top thing, like it's in between 0 and 360.
Yeah, sort of, yes. I'm going to do a little more detail than that, yes, but there's a better answer than that, yeah. Yeah, if you think this is 0, right, Sage and Liam? This is 0, there's 90 for this here, and then a little bit, okay? So there's, if you're looking at that little chunk is going to be 17 point whatever, okay, and then the right angle on top of that. All right, Juliana. There are, in fact, 2 angles for we going here. So when I'm going around here, just so I'm going around my circle, there's angle 1 at the top. Okay, Kilty.
What?
They're going around here. So the second angle is going to be right here, like this. Where's the, oh goodness. What was that? Okay, how's that angle measured from where to where, Juliana? Where's the starting point going to be? Okay, good. It's in quadrant 3, good, but where's the starting point going to be? I'm going to hopefully say like this.
Get that your calculator.
This way, you
That
can't.
107.
Oh, so you should just do from the. So you should just do 0.3. How do I calculate it?
God, I had mine. I wasn't even taking from it. I didn't see that. I just
Okay, so let's go through this angle. So here we go. So there's my second angle. You can either use your rules or use the diagram. How are we going to get that second angle? Matt?
360 minus 107.
So theta is going to equal 360 minus 107.45, which should be 252.55.
And that's the final.
Yeah, those are your 2 angles. Now, before we continue here, I'm going to pick on Holly for a sec. Is 252 a reasonable angle for that? Does that make sense for 252? Why? Yeah. Right, if you take a look, right, just if you're counting angles, 0, 90, 180, 270. It's got to be between 180 and 270. And even if you're looking at that picture, it's closer to 270, right? So 250 is very close to that, so that answer makes sense. Okay. All right, let's go to the homework and we'll start our lesson here today. This is what we did a lot yesterday. So if you weren't here yesterday, we were working on a test. Okay, this is what we did 100 examples of yesterday.
I got it. I kind of came up with it. It makes sense.
Okay, good. So I'm going to do 10A from last night, then we go on to 13, or 1 from 13. Sometimes. Today we do, okay? Because we're going to get away from the rules here. It sort of helps you figure out where the angles are.
Yeah.
So 10A says, find the measure of angle theta, find a coterminal angle that's positive. Okay, the terminology of this was tricky from last night. Basically what I wanted was, they didn't actually say it, and I'm going to be meaner than the textbook is. When you have to solve this question for me, I'm going to just tell you this. Okay. Can somebody explain, please, on what this funny thing means?
Means it starts at 0 and creates between 0 and 0.
Right, okay, so what that means as far as this goes, it's only in a positive direction once you're on the circle is all we're saying, okay? So if you get a negative angle, which they conveniently make it happen all the time, we have to do something with it, okay? If it's, you get an angle like 400, that's bad, right, okay? So we'll try and figure out how to do this.
You have to memorize that?
Memorize what, 0 to 360?
Yeah, whatever that.
Well, no, because I'm going to tell you that all the time, but yeah, you'll need it. What you will need to memorize, if people were saying what to memorize, this is what we dealt with yesterday with these 3 things, right? 180 minus 360 minus 180 plus. Today we're going to do a little bit of graphing, so you will need graph paper. But later on we'll be doing algebra with this stuff, and we'll do so much algebra we stick with these 2.
Get the graph this?
Totally, it's going to be awesome. Okay, let's go back. I'm not actually going to graph this so. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with Jake. Jake, if this is back in grade 10, how would you solve for theta? Okay, so can you do that for me, please?
Negative 15.45.
Okay. sine inverse. Negative 59.99, I'm going to call that negative 60 just to make my life easier. Okay, you don't mind? Okay. Now, let's just draw a quick little sketch. You don't have to draw this sketch. You can do this in another sketch, but I'm going to show you why you might be helpful. Okay, so negative 60 degrees. Where is negative 60 degrees on that graph? This is sort of a big conceptual point. Want to try that?
In the bottom right.
Bottom right, okay, because we're going to have here negative 60 is going to be something like this. So we're going to get the concept of that, right? Again, if it's a positive angle, this is really sort of a big deal. I'm sorry if you weren't here yesterday, this is tricky. But positive angles are going to, should I turn here again?
Yeah.
Positive angles mean you're going to spin around this way, right? Negative angles are going to go the opposite way.
Something like 100, like 10 would be in bottom left.
Yeah, negative 110.
Negative,
Yes.
yes.
Okay, so here's the question now. This equation says this angle has to be between 0 and 360. Can someone be brave and tell me how to make that negative 60 a positive angle? Jake, go ahead.
You factor 180 minus negative.
That'll work, okay. So if I do theta equals 180 minus negative 60, you should get 240. And that is correct, okay, because you're using sine. Where is 240 degrees going to be on my picture? Trinity, can I pick on you if you don't mind? Where's 240 going to be approximately? Yeah, very good. I love your math terminology for that. Wonderful, okay. So 240 is going to be, if you think, 0 at the left, 90, 180 and a bit. That right there is going to be 240. Right, so that's good. That's great. Okay, so this one's good. This one is in our domain. This one is out. I'm still not happy. How can I get a positive version of that red angle? What can I do? Because this is the last thing here. How can anybody here? How can I get a positive version of that red angle? Kelsey, go ahead.
You like add like half of 360.
Close. I know what you're trying to do here. Okay. If you add half of 360, you're gonna be back up here, right? So that's not gonna work. Somebody think of how you get to negative 60. If I'm gonna poor old Cody here again. Sorry, Cody. I just slam dunked on you. Negative 60 degrees. Bad news, Cody. Okay. So one more time. I slam dunked on him negative 60 degrees. How else can I slam dunk on Cody? Spin the other way around. Bad news, Cody. What angle is that going to be? What angle is that going to be if I spin the other way? If I go like this, if I take my red angle and I go like this, because that's basically what I'm doing. Okay. What's the measure of that angle going to be? How did I get it?
300.
300. How'd you get 300?
06 minus.
Yeah. So we're going to say here then, to get rid of a negative. Add 360 degrees. Okay, so theta is actually going to be 360 plus negative 60. Theta is 300. Okay, so I know that people hate this circle, all right, but it's sort of useful, I think, to sort of visualize what you're doing there. Okay, right? Because you should always have, and if you can remember from yesterday, one thing I tried to tell you guys is that you should always have two answers between 0 and 360. Okay, right? So again, since this one's a negative and it's out, you have to find a way to make it positive. Because we said 0 to 360. The domains here said from 0 to 360.
So since it's a circle, okay, yep, I got it.
Okay. I'm going to try 1 from 13, then we're going to start today's lesson. Okay? Does this somewhat help? I hope a little bit. Holly, good? Okay. I'm actually going to pause my video, I think, because this has been going for too long.